But we're starting today by meeting a real-life superhero, aren't we?
After contracting meningitis when she was just 15 months old, Tilly Lockie's hands were amputated to save her life. But through state-of-the-art bionic arms, she's been able to live a life to the fullest.
Tilly is now 19 years old and yesterday became the first person to get the most advanced wireless hands in the world, which are incredibly controlled by her mind.
Tilly joins us now alongside robotics engineer and all-round clever clogs who helped design her hands, Joel Gibbert. Welcome, both of you.
Yeah, welcome.
Tilly, I haven't seen you for ages. You came on the show a few years ago, didn't you?
2020, I think you was
Yeah, a couple of times. My first time with you guys, though, so
yeah, nice
to
meet
be chilling with you.
It's nice to have you back, Tilly. Let's start at the beginning for people who don't know the story. You were just 15 months when you contracted meningitis.
Yeah.
It came at a cost. You lost both of your hands at the time. And the thing is, with something like this, it's such a big thing. Do you even remember a point when you felt different from anyone else?
Yeah, like, it's completely life-altering, body-altering operation, obviously, and luckily I was so young at the time, so I don't remember it. I've kind of, like, had no hands my entire life, you know? So it's just something that I've always known myself to be like. And growing up, yeah, there's definitely some challenges, like, you're adapting to a world that is designed for 4 limbs at the end of the day, and something that has been a journey has been prosthetics, and through my own experience I've been able to see, like, that evolution firsthand, you know, so it's been really, really cool.
I think that's the most fascinating thing, is how many iterations this has had for you. So, I mean, when you started, what were your bionic arms like? What were you using?
Well, my first prosthetic I ever got, I was 2 years old, and I was, like, pretty much fresh out the bandages, and that wasn't technological at all. It was basically like a tube to put your arm in. There were, like, these 3 prongs tied together by elastic bands, and the way it operated was with this hook on the thumb, which would attach to a harness, and then the way I'd move, like, my upper body would pull on strings and make it move. But obviously, 2 years old, got barely any bodily coordination anyway, so it was a bit of a nightmare, and now you see them and they're, like, 3D printed, muscle operated, and yeah, it's been wild.
And when you're little, all of that, your gross motor skills, your fine motor skills have to be developed with that in mind as well, I suppose.
Yeah. And I think for me it was like more, I wasn't just adopting it as my hand. Like, I just didn't really know what was even going on at that point. So it's been a journey.
Yeah. It's been a journey. Now, obviously, you're here to show off your new bionic arms.
Yes.
I've been watching you on Instagram, actually. It's so interesting. So tell me about these arms that you've got at the moment.
So these are the brand new Hero Pro. We had the Hero Arm, and this is Hero Arm next level upgrade. So they're pretty cool. They're still, like, 3D printed, muscle operated, but we've got all this extra capabilities now, which is really, really cool.
And Joel, you actually designed these. What got you into bionics?
Well, probably playing with Lego as a child. What got me really interested in technology. That evolved into electronics and robotics. And then I wanted to do something that would have a positive social impact with technology. So got really into bionic hands and prosthetics.
What's it like as an industry to get into? I mean, presumably there's a lot of qualifications you need before you even start, but it must be so innovative and so exciting. And looking at Tilly's journey, has come on so much in the last, 10, 15 years?
Yeah, well, yes, it's come on enormously. One of the reasons that inspired me to get into it was because technology wasn't really moving forward from the sense of what people were actually getting for prosthetic limbs. There's lots of research taking place, lots of really exciting things, but they weren't really making it to market. And so that was one of the key things, was like, could we take this really cool technology but actually make it accessible to the NHS, make it so that everybody's actually getting it.
Brilliant. So when did you meet Tilly then? Tell us about that story of meeting Tilly.
It was probably like, you were about 9, 10 years old, I think, at that time. So we wanted to work with users of prosthetics very much from day one.
Yeah.
So we were putting out calls on social media to say, does anybody want to help us test the new designs, prototypes that we're making? And was it you or your mum got in touch with us? I think it was your mum got in touch with us initially. And we were like, yes, that would be great. We want you to help. And even from 9, 10 years old, Tilly was giving us fantastic ideas for how to design the arms.
Tilly, what's extraordinary was before we came on air, you said you're still getting used to these, and you sort of don't know your own strength.
Yeah, I mean, they're twice as fast, twice as strong. So, you know, it's definitely something to get used to, but, I mean, even better, you know. I get to be bigger and stronger now.
So can you demonstrate a few of the things that you can do? Can you pick up that glass there?
Yeah, so they're all muscle operated. I can just control it like that. Can do anything I want to do.
And are you doing that with your mind? You're just thinking...
I mean, everything ultimately comes from the brain, but what's really great about these is it's just these 2 muscle sensors. So it's only squeeze to close, flex to open, cycling through grip modes, and even that becomes second nature after a while.
Joel, how does
Unbelievable.
what's the mechanics of that? Like, so how does that work?
Yeah, it's a good question. So basically most of the muscles that will move your hand and fingers, so there's like 24 movements in your hand and wrist.
Yes.
But all the muscles that are controlling them, nearly all of them, are actually in your forearm. And they connect to tendons that connect to your fingers. So even for somebody that doesn't have human hands, they've still got most of the muscles.
Yeah.
So the things that Tilly's thinking about to make those muscles move would be the things that we're thinking about to do those movements with our hands. So it's kind of intuitive. I don't know whether you feel that it's intuitive. It's intuitive for somebody that lost a hand when maybe they had previously used one. For you, you're saying you can't really remember, so...
Yeah, it's odd. Like, I wish I had the other hand so I could compare.
Yeah.
I'm like, I genuinely don't even know, but it works.
And is it a constant fine-tuning? Because you were saying that they're quite strong, they're very strong. Did you have to fine-tune it? Would she have smashed that glass in the past?
She wouldn't quite be able to smash the glass, but so the hand detects the amount of pressure, and so it will kind of automatically stop applying pressure when it grabs an object, but then Tilly's able to give it another signal to increase the pressure if she wants to. So the idea would be you could, for example, grab something like an egg and then smash it and crush it on demand.
Really? The egg would be done for you.
So could you operate that arm when it's not attached to you?
Yes. So that's the thing, and we've posted about it on social media, and that's what everybody is like, this is crazy, mind-blowing.
Oh, we've got to see this.
Yes.
We have...
I'll just help
Crazy.
Tilly...
completely wireless, so you can actually just detach the hand like that.
And you're thinking about it.
And I can still operate in it the same way as if it was attached. Make it move.
That is
across the
incredible.
table.
That's
So it's
unbelievable.
Yeah. So I can do little tasks for me when I can't be bothered.
Have you ever
And
had
also-
any mishaps where you've left it somewhere?
Well, I am sure that I will be, like, something like that will happen. I haven't had them long enough to make a mess of it yet, but yeah.
Also, the practical jokes and wind-ups, you can use that for.
Oh, yeah. So much.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Joel, what's the future for this? Like, obviously, it must be hugely expensive, the research and development and the manufacture. So, are we going to... will there be a time where this can be available on the NHS? Or...
This is available on the NHS now, yes.
Now?
Yeah, so these have been developed with a lot of feedback from NHS prosthetists, specifically designed to make sure they are available through the NHS.
And can you change the colours and things like that?
You can, yeah, so there are covers you can put on the outside of the arms.
Love
you can have
that.
different designs and colours.
I mean, this has been life-changing, especially for your music as well, Tilly. It's really been life-changing for that, hasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it just gives me the opportunity to... It's just things people take for granted, like being able to hold a microphone and, like, express with the other hand, even to be able to, like, shake someone's hand or, like, throw a peace sign, you know? It's the little things like that. But, yeah, if I didn't have them, I would just be, like, stood behind, like, a mic stand probably, but it just allows me to, like, prance around and be crazy on
So the
stage.
company, your company's Open Bionics, and Tilly, you're working with Open Bionics now.
Yeah.
So what a great poster girl to have, right?
Couldn't think of anyone better. She's fantastic.
Tilly, if people are watching this at home and they're they're at the start of a similar journey that you were when you were 3 years old, and the parents are watching and they're in the depths of despair at the moment, what message would you like to give to them?
I would just tell them, I mean, it's all about raising awareness and making sure people know what's actually out there. Like, so many people, I've been posting about it for years, and so many people see these and they're like, I feel like I've missed, like, 10 years. Like, when did this happen, you know? So it's just getting it out there and making sure people know that they're on the NHS as well. Because sometimes people will see them and be like, oh, well, it's a pipe dream for me, I can't afford it, do you know what I mean? But there is all this support now, so if it is something you want to get started in doing, like, you can, and there's options available. And I would also say be open. The best thing about Open Bionics is they're so open to feedback, and it's through people, like, using it, like, and going about their day-to-day lives. They're the ones who can give feedback and make them ultimately better, and that's what I do.
And
that's
in a
how
wider
we're gonna get
context as
better.
well, like the fact that people at home who might be going through a similar thing can see a 19-year-old that's young, vibrant, that's got the rest of her life ahead of her. Exactly, yeah. It's brilliant.
Thank you.
Thank you.
appreciate
Thanks,
that.
Joel.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every single day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you in the morning.
Today marks a hugely significant moment in history.
Yeah. It's been 80 years since the liberation of Bergen-Belsen, the Nazi concentration camp, where more than 72,000 camp inmates imprisoned in the war died during World War II.
Though 80 years may have passed for our next guest, who was just a child when she was sent to the camp, the horrors of the Holocaust remain all too vivid.
We are joined now by Auschwitz and Bergen-Belsen survivor and best-selling author Rini Salt alongside her son Martin. Welcome, both of you. Rini, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you
very well.
And sharing the story with us. Let's start before the war. What can you remember about your childhood? You lived in a town called Zunskowola in Poland. What were your memories before the war?
I had a wonderful family. My parents, my younger sister, and my 2 sets of grandparents, and so many aunts and uncles. My father was one of 8 children. My mother was one of 4. So the family was very large. And we had a wonderful, wonderful childhood.
A happy upbringing with a lovely, loving family.
Yes, schooling, and my parents planned such wonderful things for us. They wanted us to go to Paris to study further after school.
Yeah.
They didn't think about marriage for us. They always thought more about education.
Oh, that's so lovely.
Yes.
And then the war started, the Nazis invaded. What are your memories, your early memories? Because then you were basically forced from your house and moved into ghettos, is that right?
Yeah, first of all, we ran away from our town. We went to lodge. I don't know why people ran away. Perhaps they thought it's a lot bigger town, we might be safer there. But I had my grandparents also there. My father's family lived in lodge. So we ran away to lodge. And after a few days, we had to go back. We didn't have anything with us. We left our home. So we started going back to Zunskowola. And when we arrived near our house, our landlord met us. And he said, the Germans took over your flat and took over everything. And you've got nothing to go back to. So we lost our home on the very first day of the war, practically.
So your life is literally taken from you, every single bit.
On the very first day.
After a while, people were moved into the ghettos, and after that,
There wasn't ghettos yet. At that time, there wasn't ghettos.
But when you were moved into the ghettos, life was very difficult, correct?
Very difficult, yes.
And then when it came for you to be transported, how was, you know, we know these names now, they trip off our tongue so terribly, the names of Auschwitz, the names of Bergen-Belsen.
I've never heard of it.
How was it sold to you that it was just going to be a different life?
Yes, they sent us out to different camps. And so we found ourselves first in Auschwitz. And then from Auschwitz, I was sent to Hamburg.
And really, before you get on the train, what were people telling you about where you were going?
Oh, we are going to better places, of course. You'll be better off. You'll have plenty of good food, good living accommodations, good medical care. All they wanted that we should go quietly.
So really, reading your story, the saddest thing is how you lose your family so...
Yeah, gradually.
Gradually and incrementally. So suddenly someone walks that way, you never see them again.
Yeah.
Your father turns a corner, you never see him again. It's just heartbreaking.
My sister went first. They took her away, and my mother never recovered from it. I still miss her.
Of course.
Still miss her today. And then eventually we lost our grandparents, my uncles, my aunts. Everybody went.
Really, how do you rebuild
bit by bit, they were all taken away.
How do you rebuild when something like that happens to you? How do you keep going? Where do you get that resilience from? You've
got no options, have you? You have to pull yourself together and do the best you can.
Yeah. What's amazing is how you remember this like it was... It feels like you're telling us this story like it was last week, you know?
Absolutely, not that like it happened 80 years ago. Like it happened yesterday.
It never leaves you.
Never leaves you, no.
Really, for so many people, Auschwitz was the end, but you went to Auschwitz for a small time. You were reunited with your mother through almost luck, wasn't she? She got in the right queue.
she wasn't in the right. She was separated for a minute.
Yeah.
Before I had a chance to cry out, she was back with me.
Yeah.
That was her courage, which did that. She wanted to be with me.
Of course.
She wanted to look after me, and she did to the last, till she died.
And then you were transported to Bergen-Belsen.
No, first to Hamburg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On slave labour.
Yeah.
Had to carry sacks of cement, with cement on my back.
And how old were you?
15, 14,
Just
15.
a child?
Yeah,
You were just a child?
yeah. I still suffer from my back.
Really?
I still suffer from my back.
And really,
The pain never left me.
it's a very difficult question to ask, but what are your memories of Bergen-Belsen and your time there? I mean, we read so much about it and we've seen the footage, but from someone that was there, it just seems unimaginable.
I came to Bergen-Belsen on a train from Hamburg. They stopped us in the middle of nowhere. They started screaming, "Get off the train, be quick," which we did. We jumped off. We had to hold on to one another to remain standing. We were gasping for water. It was so hot already. And it was April, but still it was hot. They lined us up and they took us to a hut. We were walking through many miles of very woody country.
Yeah.
Till we came to the gates of the camp. They opened up the gates and we were pushed through. The scene that met us there, it's not possible to describe.
Yeah.
Here we saw skeletons walking.
Oh, really?
Their arms and necks were like matchsticks. Their eyes bulged out grotesquely out of their skull-like faces. Some were dressed in rags, others were naked. The stench that arose from the camp was impossible to describe. We've been through already so much, but this was something different and horrifyingly different.
Oh, really? I know you've put all this in your book, A Mother's Promise, and it is so painful. Me just watching you tell the story, I don't want you to even tell the rest of the story because I know it's in the book, because it's so painful to even listen to. Your son Martin's here. Hi, Martin.
Hi.
What's unbelievable about this story is Rini meets Charles, who was actually one of the soldiers who helped to liberate the camp. And you're the offspring of that beautiful relationship, and we're so happy you're here. Did you know about what your mum went through, and what age did you find out about all these stories?
Well, when I went to school, sort of late 60s, early 70s, there was no such thing as Holocaust education. So the word Holocaust didn't even exist in my mind. My mum and dad never spoke about their experiences, even though they'd both been to Belsen. My mum was a prisoner and my dad is a liberator. They must have had this pact that they wouldn't talk about it at home.
Yeah.
So I didn't pick up anything through school or from my mum and dad. So it was later on, in the early 2000s, when I was 48.
Yeah, 48.
We went back with the BBC to do a documentary about my mum's experiences, and we went to Poland, Germany, and retraced her footsteps. And at that stage, that was the first I knew what she'd, not even in great detail what she'd been through, but at a high level. And it's only more recently, when she's been talking, I've been going to some of those talks, that I've got more of the detail, but at home, I didn't know anything at all.
Why would she talk
She's
about
a mom,
it?
she's protecting her
Yeah,
baby.
and also you want to live a new life, right?
We couldn't talk about it.
Of course.
My husband always had tears in his eyes
Yeah.
when we spoke about Bergen-Belsen especially.
Well, Rini, today we commemorate the anniversary of your liberation and those who were liberated at Bergen-Belsen. Just lastly, what message would you want to share with future generations?
What I would like to tell future generations is that they should live in peace and with one another. There shouldn't be any difference between colour of the people, whether they're black, white, doesn't make any difference. We're all God's children.
Rini, thank you so much.
Really, thank you for telling
And
your
thank
story.
you for... I'm sorry that you have to relive this time and time again, but the message is so important.
Yes.
And thank you so much for coming on the sofa, and you, Martin,
Thank you.
sharing your story with us.
Rini.
Thank you. Thank you so much for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every single day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you in the morning. And Terry and Jono join us now. Thanks so much for coming in, boys. Jono, tell us a little bit about the show and how you got involved in it.
Oh, it's such a beautiful show. The producer, Andrew, contacted me a few years ago and he's like, Jono, got this idea of a show. And I've heard you say we live in a world that's obsessed with image and looks, and I think that's harmful for everybody. And he's like, I don't know how it's going to look, but I just know you need to be in it. And I was like, OK, tell me more. And he was like, we've got this clinic. People with visible differences come to the clinic and they feel safe. And with that safety, they're able to talk about whatever's gone in their life that may have given them a visible difference, whether they were born or if it's happened later on in life. And we just do this emotional journey with them. It's not about this before and after. It's about the journey, the emotional journey. Are you interested? And I was like, yeah.
And what's lovely about this show is it tackles everything, doesn't it, mentally? And not everybody has surgery, do they?
You'll meet 14 individuals throughout the show, all on their own unique journeys. And they all approach it differently. Some is treatment, some is more emotional work, but you can't have one without the other. The emotional work is such a key part to it all. And I think everybody who watches it, they'll be able to connect with somebody or a certain emotion, like, oh, I feel like that too.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful.
Well, Terry, let's chat to you. What happened to you back in that day in 2007 was just unimaginable. Tell us what you're comfortable with telling us. I mean, what do you remember from it?
Well, my uncle was a paranoid schizophrenic, and he was, on the day of 2007, he was looking for paranoid answers to delusions that he had going on. So, and he was armed with a petrol can and a lighter at the time. So that was kind of the basis of...
Yeah. What are your memories afterwards? Like, do you remember the first memory you had after the attack?
Yeah, I thought I was going to die, I'll be honest. As soon as I went to hospital, I was swelling up and I just felt like I was seeing the light, if that makes sense. I thought I was done for then.
And in the months and the years afterwards, is it just a case of you don't want to shut the door, or...?
Oh, it's such a long journey, and an emotional one, because so many things happened in that time of 3 months.
Yeah.
Learning to redo things that I'd done for so many years prior to that. And the first time, through all of that journey, they handed me a mirror for the first time. And it was like, oh, God, it was like a monster looked back at me.
Yeah.
So that was my hardest thing, I think.
Yeah,
So you just didn't... Obviously, you'd been in this massive burns incident.
Yeah.
You didn't recognise yourself at all.
No.
And then you decided to do this show. But before you did the show, you actually had a tattoo as well, didn't you?
Yes. So when I went on the show, I basically went on there because I had half eyebrows and I really wanted to get my symmetrics back on my face and my expressions. And upon doing the show, I found out that my tattoo was a mask because I was so disfigured. I put a tattoo on so that people would look at that rather than look at me.
So to distract people
Distract
from
people
looking at you.
from, how I looked.
Is that a common thing, Jono, do you think?
I'm not sure if it's common, but it's definitely something I've done. In my teenage years, I hated my face. So during high school, one lunch break, I went to town, went to a local tattoo shop, got myself a tattoo. I was into gangster rap at the time, so I chose a crucifix, got my arm tattooed, bled so much, got wrapped up and everything, went back to school and everybody was like, oh, let's see your tattoo, let's see your tattoo. And I had all these people around me, not talking about my face or in my head.
Yeah.
It was never really about my face. They were my friends, but in my head, it's all about my face. I need to take the attention away. Look at this. And people looked and were like, you've got a tattoo, mate. And I'm like, yeah, like instant regret. And then for the next 2 years, I had to wear jumpers around my mum. Just to try
I think the regret hasn't lasted, though. You've obviously gone down the route.
And every time my mum sees a new tattoo, she's like, oh, you ruined your beautiful skin. But I would do, when I was in my trauma, I would do anything to take away the attention from my face. I wanted to be accepted. I wanted to be cool. I didn't want this to be a talking point. And yeah, there were a lot of unhealthy coping mechanisms started with food and eating sunbeds, just that obsession to fit in or to be accepted or to try and, you know, just to please society almost. And thankfully that's passed and I'm able to turn up as my authentic self. And the more I am my authentic self, the more doors open, the more friendships I make, the more random, beautiful moments I have with random strangers. And
what's lovely, when we're watching the show, what's really lovely is your connection with everybody when you have a chat. What did you get out of doing the show? You was a presenter on it. What did you get out of it?
For people like Terry and all the other amazing contributors, for them to trust me with some emotional stuff is pretty special, and it's going to really, really stay with me, and it helps me heal. And having heart-to-heart moments is just something the world needs more of. You know, we live in this social media world and technology, and we've lost that human interaction and those heart connections, and the show is all about those heart connections. Sharing stories, sharing moments, sharing smiles, hugs and tears, and we need more of that. The world is full of a lot of hate at the moment, and the show just teaches us to love ourselves and love our fellow human being.
What about you, Terry?
I think Jono being the host of the show was the amazing part, because going on it, to see someone that understands what you're going through before I even started the journey, then that was special for me.
Yeah, it's lovely.
Rather than someone that hasn't been through something.
Yeah. What procedures did you end up having in the end then?
Well, I went there for hair transplants and eyebrows, which I got, and then I got my tattoo lasered off, which was probably the longest.
You literally can't even see any of it now.
No.
It's unbelievable.
But like Jono said, well, I had other tattoos before that to cover all my skin grafts, and then that was just it's changed my life since that's gone. And having my eyebrows, people say it's cosmetic, but my hair and eyebrows are so important.
It's life-changing, isn't it?
It's confidence. You need that as a man. I had so many confidence issues that to come back with it now, feel back to my old self.
And like Jono said, it's not just about the physical treatment. It's about the emotional, psychological treatment. Yeah. How has that journey been for you since this?
What, during the show or after?
Both.
Well, it was, you know what, it was hard because I went through so many surgeries back in 2007 and 8 that I had to relive it.
Yeah, right.
Going back into surgery and recovery is the hardest because it's like a lonely journey there. You feel back to square one. And I felt like I had to recover so many times for this. It's easy to say now because you forget it, but you've got to bear in mind that any surgeries come with like a recovery period as well.
Are you at a good place now where you can say, actually, the name of the show, Love My Face, I actually do love my face?
Yeah, do you know what the funny thing is? I feel like the title of the show now, yeah. Because I honestly do, because I sit there and I feel so good in myself.
That's so lovely.
Because I felt lost for so many years, so...
What a wonderful show.
Yeah,
What
brilliant.
a wonderful show.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
Thank you so much.
One thing I will say as well, everybody who came onto the show, they had these, not everybody, a lot of them were like, oh, I'm not sure if I feel like I deserve to be here. We all, every single one of us, people watching at home, we all have things that we're insecure about, and we need to approach them and we need to talk about those feelings and emotions, and that's what it's about. Sometimes treatment works, sometimes it's having a chat or a hug or something. So watch the show. People are going to be able to connect with so many people and so many emotions. And yeah, it's beautiful.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Thank
you.
Thank you.
Love My Face starts Thursday, 10 o'clock, Channel 4. You can stream all episodes then too. Thank you so much for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every single day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you in the morning. Someone who knows it better than anyone is her daughter, Billy D, who is here with us now. Hi.
Hi.
Great to have you with us.
It's great to be here.
Just watching your mum is always, it's that kind of combination of pride and, it's my mum!
Yeah.
Doesn't matter, like universally, it's the mum look, isn't it?
It really is. I mean, can you imagine your mother going on a reality TV show?
Oh no.
Man.
No, absolutely not. But did you almost persuade her to do it?
Yes, it was me who persuaded her to do it. I mean, she gets asked quite a lot to do it, but there's never been a good time. There's never really been a reason. But she's so passionate about talking about cancer and living with long-term life-limiting illnesses. And we just felt this was the perfect time for her to go on and, you know, represent, you know, all the millions of people who are living with conditions like that, especially at the time, you know, when the government are, you know, limiting personal independent payments and people are really suffering. So I think the fact that she's chosen to go on it this time is going to really impact a lot of people and make a big difference, hopefully.
Yeah. So when you actually had that conversation with her and you sat down, what was it quite a kind of... Were you pushing against an open door? Was she like, this is the right time? Because, you know, her career's been so varied and successful, and, you know, now she's obviously focusing on living her life. Was there a part of her that just went, do I really want to do this?
No, I don't think she's ever thought, I really want to do this. It's just, she's never really been interested in reality TV. But I just said to her, look, I think you can talk as much as you like about living with cancer, but people need to actually see you and see it. And then she thought, OK. So that was the moment that really clinched it for her, I think.
Yeah, nice.
It's not, and you could tell by the reaction of the crowd, even when she came in. You know, we've all got a soft spot for Trisha. I grew up watching her doing her chat show, you know, and I really remember her as this British Jerry Springer who, but with so much warmth, and that's how she appeared when she came up on stage and said that quote about, you know, just don't be scared of dying so much that you start being scared of living.
Yeah.
I think that just resonated with everyone, didn't it?
It really did. It really did. She's always been an ambassador, you know, for the underdog or for people going through a hard time, and she's always willing to put herself out there, and I'm so proud of her.
But were you heartened by that reception? Because I think when I was reading in my notes, she said, you know, she hasn't been on TV for a while. And yet she was just universally adored.
Do you know what? I think both of us just sort of forgot. A lot of time has gone by since her show, and I just think when everyone started chanting Trisha, I was jumping up and down. I couldn't believe it, and I could see on Mum's face that she was a bit taken aback by it as well. But she is a legend, and I'm really glad that, you know, maybe this reminds her of that. Yeah.
I think, I mean, she's, because of her chat show host past, she'll be very good at sort of being the negotiator, probably settling a lot of arguments. She's got a lot of interesting characters in there as well. Is there any, do you see that she's going to have to probably have words with a few of them?
I mean, she's already had words with a few of them. I mean, look, Mum will have a go at anyone she wants to. But, yeah, she is really good at sitting down with people, getting those sort of difficult stories out. I think after the eviction tonight, she'll really come alive and be there supporting people. So, you know, let's see how we go. Sometimes Mum does start fights as well, so fingers crossed that doesn't happen too much, but we'll see.
She's a mediator, but you don't think she'd necessarily be the mother of the house.
The thing is, I've lived with her. I think it's very different, her doing her day job to actually living with someone day to day. You know, she can be a bit cheeky. She can push people's buttons sometimes. So, look, let's see how we go.
I like that she was honest. I remember the first night, you know, Danny Beard was really loud. And I like that she just went straight over and said, by the way, you did my head in last night. You're too loud.
I mean, I've had that conversation with my mum several times. I almost cringed for Danny there. Yeah, I was like, Mum, don't be so grumpy on your first morning. But, you know, I think she commands respect, doesn't she?
Yeah, and he appreciated the honesty.
He did.
Do you think Mickey Rourke will be one that will appreciate the honesty?
I think he will. I think he might have an ally in Mum. I think, you know, yeah, we'll see how that goes. But they're of a similar age, a similar generation. Yeah, I think they might.
She could be the link, couldn't she? She could be that link between him and the younger generation.
Yeah.
And him realising the words he uses, even if he doesn't mean them with offence, are offensive and are antiquated, and sort of, you know, and maybe bring him out a little bit.
Let's hope so.
Yeah.
Let's hope so. Yeah.
Yeah, because there'd probably be a level of respect there. If she said it in the right way to him, then he maybe would take it on board, and we might see that side of him. We'll have to wait and see, because he's obviously up for eviction, so who knows what will happen tonight. We've heard her already telling stories about you, which must be weird to hear your name being dropped with Nelson Mandela and all that kind of stuff.
Mum loves a name drop. Mum loves a name drop, as I'm sure we'll hear a few more of them as the show goes on. But it is weird hearing stories about me. It's weird hearing my name mentioned. I'm just sitting at home, I'm like, oh, God, OK. No, but she has lived an incredible life, and normally it is her interviewing other people, so I think it's great she has a chance to share some of her own stories.
People haven't heard that story, and obviously you can't remember it, but can you tell us the Nelson Mandela story?
I mean, obviously, I can't remember, but, you know, I think it's probably one of Mum's proudest moments of her career. She was the first black person on Australian TV, which was massive.
What?
Yes.
The first black person on Australia TV in general?
Yeah. So,
Wow.
yeah, she made history with that. And so when Nelson Mandela was released from prison and he went on his tour, they sent my mum to interview him. So, yeah, that was incredible. And Mum used to bring me everywhere with her when I was a baby, and I was screaming and crying my head off, and Nelson Mandela wanted to hold me. And, yeah, I've got a little signed note from him at home still.
Wow.
Really
Lovely
incredible.
line, like he hasn't heard a baby cry for 20-odd years or something. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, your mum is a legend, and I'm sure the public are going to be backing her. Do you think she wants to win?
I don't think Mum wants to win. I don't think that was ever her intention. I think she's in there to fly the flag for everyone, you know, going through cancer or chronic illness. And, you know, I think she was really shocked not to have been nominated. I think that would have been a big moment for her and a big surprise. I don't actually think Mum's ever won anything in her life. So we'll see what happens. But
She's winning in life.
Yeah, I was going to say,
What
she
she's
might
doing.
just absolutely naturally breeze through on this one. You never know.
You never know.
Yeah,
Lovely
thank
chatting
you.
to you. Celebrity Brother continues tonight at 9 p.m. on ITV1, ITVX and STV and STV. Thank you so much for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every single day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you in the morning. After being diagnosed with motor neuron disease 2 years ago, Anna Barrow and her husband Martin had to figure out their new normal.
Yes, as the MND Association have seen a 20% increase in demands for grants. The couple say they wouldn't have survived without that help, which has enabled Anna to record her voice on a tablet, including some fun phrases, which I can't wait to ask you about, which is just so brilliant, the way that both of you are dealing with this devastating disease. The pair joined us now. It is such an honour to have you both on. Thank you.
No, thanks for having us.
I mean, Anna... let's go back to the beginning, shall we, of how you were first diagnosed with motor neurones disease, because that must have been pretty terrifying.
Symptoms started in 2022 with weakness in my left hand, which the GP thought was nerve damage. Other symptoms started, such as being startled easily. Little things would make me jump, and I also kept tripping over. The doctor said it could be menopause, but I thought I am far too young for that.
So Anna went through a 18-month period of having some symptoms, and started in her left hand, getting a bit weaker, and then moving to the right hand, a few trips and falls, and got put on a long waiting list to see a neurology team. It was only, Anna had a little bit of an episode, spent 2 weeks in hospital. And then it was the nurse there that thought, you know, something's not right. 2 weeks of tests, wasn't it? Being smacked with a hammer on your knees, testing your reflexes every day. And then, we were... it was the day before she went home, so the 2 weeks, we were given a diagnosis, weren't we, on the Thursday.
And Martin, for your point of view and your family's point of view, are you thinking about that new reality, or were you just like when you got that diagnosis, was there that element of shock, or had you started to prepare for it?
I don't think you can prepare for it. They always say don't Google symptoms, which we didn't really, but as it got to the end, and we didn't know, so it was an absolute shock when the consultant took us into a room and gave us a diagnosis, and we just cried for a while. It must have been a good hour. She kept on coming back in, going, and we had a conversation there and then, didn't we? And first thing we said was, what about the girls? That was our first.
You've got 3 girls.
Yeah, 3 girls.
20, 16 and 15, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
So they're absolutely amazing, and they've been brilliant. But, that was our first thought, was the girls, and initial shock, and just sort of had to restart our lives, really, didn't we? All the plans that we had, and, it's just difficult being told that you've been diagnosed with something with no cure and no treatment.
I can't even imagine, Anna, and especially when they sort of, first of all, were sort of saying menopause, which feels so, every woman at some point will go through that. What a gear shift. But the way in which it just feels like you both tackle this head on, and from the sounds of it, you both were like, right, what are we going to do about this? We're going to live life now. And you had things that you wanted to do, didn't you?
Yeah. Definitely. Martin and I have been married for 18 years, and we wanted to renew our vows. I wanted to walk down the aisle. We have always wanted to take Tilly, even travelling to Disney. We went for Christmas and New Year. It was amazing and we made memories we would cherish forever.
Oh, Disney with the kids, that must have been amazing.
Yeah, it was fantastic. It was full on, wasn't it? But it was, yeah, it was something we wanted to do, and it was more of that, you know, we say that we'd rather be, you know, an hour early than a minute late. Yeah. So it was just kind of everything that you wanted to do is do it now. Yeah. Say yes more times than you say no, and like I say, from the moment Anna was diagnosed, even in that room, after crying for a bit, the first thing we said to each other was, we'll deal with it how we deal with everything as a family, and humour and positivity. We'll take the mick and we'll have a laugh while doing it, and, you know, and we'll have our cries, but, yeah, it's all about choosing your mood and just making sure that you're seeing the positive in everything.
Such a testament to you that you came into that mindset so quickly. Can we bring in the MND Association and how they've helped you?
Yeah, so we got introduced to the M&D Association at Anna's first hospital meeting. We met Andrew, one of the volunteers, and from there got invited to a meeting, and the help and support from them has been a lifeline. Not, you know, the well-being, you know, the advice that they can provide for you, but also the financial burden that comes with MND and being diagnosed with something like this. You know, we've received probably about £5,000 worth of grants from the association, which is out with cost of living. So when the bills go up in April, we can get a grant which kind of offsets that. So you're not, it's just one less thing to worry about. And they've been absolutely amazing, haven't they? And we can always reach out to them when, no matter how small the question or how big the challenge, they're always there for supporting us.
Well, exactly, because how would any of us prepare for this? You've got to change your whole house, I presume, in the way you can move around.
Yeah, so we've gone through all of that, home adaptations, and that was the same thing, of that mentality of do it now. And so we've had our house adapted, and we had another grant from another charity who provided a grant for flooring to make it all accessible.
Yeah.
So the Ed Slater charity, which was absolutely brilliant for us. But yeah, we've we've done everything, and we've just tried to get everything right for you, haven't we?
And that grant, one of those grants, helped bank Anna's voice.
Yeah, so they provided hundreds of people across the UK with the ability to bank your voice, and for that, I'm forever grateful for that. You know, that gives Anna the opportunity to still follow me around and, you know, tell me that I'm doing something wrong, but yeah, to bank. For someone to be able to bank the voice is...
And how does that work, like, practically?
So, yeah, it's quite simple, a piece of equipment. Anna recorded a voice on a laptop. She had to say 50 phrases, which then created Anna's voice, but then she also got the ability to record 300 of her favourite phrases to make it more unique, to keep, you know, it more personal. So names... sayings, you know, in-jokes within the family, that northern humour. So, yeah, it's a really straightforward process, but the process was actually really difficult emotionally.
Yeah, Anna, did you find it emotional recording those?
I found it an emotional process. I had to stop and start because it was upsetting, knowing the reason why I was doing this was because I might not be able to say these things in the future. So, like, names and sentimental phrases were the most challenging to record. I didn't want to think about losing the last bit of me.
Bless your heart, because I suppose I understand in the way that you've got to record them while you still can say all those phrases, because you start to lose that ability, which obviously you're still doing very well with today. And, you know, you're an incredible woman. And what I love about you so much, and when I heard about this, I said, I can't wait to meet her. You've recorded some cracking phrases that you can fire up at any point. Talk me through some of your favourites.
I have a few. I say to Tilly, even Fallon every day, crack on. If they need a bit of encouragement, slay queen.
Slay queen!
If they have done something fabulous, or they look good, or just because. But my absolute favourite is, grab me a Prosecco.
There we go.
Oh, a girl after my own heart. Grab me a Prosecco.
We'll echo through the ages, don't worry.
That's
so
fantastic.
wonderful.
So good. I presume, Martin, some of these phrases are directly at you.
Yeah, so the ones probably more so around, I've missed a bit, that's probably the biggest one.
Missed a bit.
Have I done my chores? And then you've missed a bit actually follows that.
How many of the 50 were made up of the ones that basically...
49, probably. No, so, yeah, it was it's good. You know, it's a massive thing for all of our family, you know, our close family. In terms of the voice banking, you know, Anna uses it quite regular, but not so much at home, because I don't know whether we understand Anna or we just know what she's going to say. So that...
My face. Yeah. Face says a lot, doesn't it, sometimes? One look can
but
say
then more
enough.
so with people outside and people that she's not met, she's having to use that. But Anna does that more to help others, for them to understand her, so she is understood as well. Yeah.
I mean, you're both phenomenal. I honestly mean that. And I think you coming on the show like this today, you're just going to inspire so many people, because you're brave and you're attacking something that's so scary. And you're going, let's just live. And you've got loads of things you want to get done, don't you? You've got loads of things and you want to just live life to the fullest.
Holidays are a little tricky now with the accessibility and financial barriers. But I have learned that there is no place like home, surrounded by the people I love most, my family and friends, relaxing in the garden with a glass of Prosecco.
There he goes again.
Now I spend my time raising awareness for MND and the amazing community. Martin and I are doing what we can to spread positivity in what can feel like a hopeless situation.
I tell you what, I admire anyone who makes something like this less scary for others, and that is what you have done today, because these things are terrifying, and you've just made it human and made it normal.
Oh,
and that's so important, because any diagnosis like this that's terminal is frightening.
Thank you so much, guys.
No, thank you very much for having us.
Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every single day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you in the morning to talk about an issue that's affecting young people more than ever.
Yes, some brand new figures released today revealed that while over 90% of schools actually ban phones during the day, online safety is still a top concern.
So our next guest knows that all too well. At just 13, she was coerced by an older pupil into sending explicit photos, which were then circulated around her school.
Yeah, now at 22, Roxy Longworth is campaigning for more to be done to protect others. And joining her is the Children's Commissioner for England, who's responsible for promoting and protecting the rights of all children. Morning to you both.
Morning.
Thank you both for coming on the
thanks,
show
Roxy.
today.
Rachel, can you expand a little bit about what the Children's Commissioner does?
Yeah, it's an amazing job, and I've been doing it since 2021, and it's a 6-year role. I was a head teacher for 20 years before that. Look, my job is to make sure that children's voices and interests and lives are heard by government, by Parliament. So I'm often doing surveys and taking their voices there. Also, all of the public sector who look after children have to make sure they're doing their job. And I've got a special and most important job, which is to look after the most vulnerable children who live away from home, which means I talk to all the children in prison, all the children who arrive as illegal immigrants, the children in hospital, children in mental health wards, and make sure that their needs have been met. And I run an advocacy service to do that. So there's a lot there.
Huge remit.
It's an amazing job, and it's a privilege to do. And today's issue, I can tell you, I've surveyed more than 1 million children, and online safety, the online world, is at the top of their concerns.
It's absolutely terrifying. And I think, Roxy, thank you for being brave today, coming on to chat about it, because I know this was something that's almost buried in your past. You probably don't like bringing it up, but it's going to help a lot of people today. So thank you for talking to us about it. And this was something that actually happened to you when you were only 13 years old, isn't it?
Yeah. When I was 13, I was coerced and pressured into sending photos to older guy at my school. He was 17 at the time. It's hard to explain, because the pressure was so subtle, and you don't realise that someone's in control until it's way too late.
Of course you don't.
Also, the gap between 13 and 17 mentally is so huge. So he, you know, even a young 17-year-old knows exactly what they're doing. You're 13, you're a child, right? So that pressure, like you said, is just so subtle, right?
Yeah, it was so subtle. He then shared those photos with a friend of his who was also 17, who then blackmailed me with them into sending whatever he wanted with the threat that otherwise he would spread them around the school.
It's unbelievable because it's so out of your control, and I can feel how that would have spiralled. I can imagine being 13, you've got the older boy, so you're not sure what older people are doing. You're probably there thinking, oh, maybe everyone's sending pictures, maybe that's what I should be doing. You're so young, you don't know. And then before you know it, these pictures are out of your control. And didn't they end up circulating around the entire school?
Yeah, they were sent all around the school.
Oh.
Everybody had them. But by that point, I'd been living with that kind of feeling of feeling disgusting and that shame for quite a few months by that point. And then, yeah, they were spread everywhere, and the bullying and the humiliation and the shame afterwards just caused my mental health to spiral.
At what point did you open up to your family?
I didn't. It was only when the school called them in and told them that that they found out. I didn't feel like I could go to them, just because I felt like they wouldn't understand the online part of my life.
Yeah.
Well, also, even though you shouldn't feel like it, you would feel embarrassed because you don't want to tell your parents things that you're doing like that. I mean, it's very private, and at the time you'd have felt that was you and your boyfriend or this lad sharing something, and it's got way out of hand. I mean, it frightens me. I was at school when it was the Nokia 3210. You couldn't share things like this. It does terrify me, the smartphone era, which, I'm sure, Rachel, like you've said, this is now becoming a massive, wider problem, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, the work I've just done, the piece of research I've just done, I basically wanted to get to the bottom of what was happening in schools with phones. Now, I know that's not all of this, and I think Roxy's story has got so much more in it that we need to talk about. But literally, I ordered every school to send me their phone policy. And actually, I was really heartened that pretty much every head teacher had made a really strong attempt to restrict use of phones and ban phones. But that can't be all of it. I think when I listen to Roxy's story, those really careful RSE lessons and the ethos of the school, where you're able to open up and have those conversations about the sharing of pictures, things like that, and what to do if that happens to you, who's the trusted adult, how to build that trust both within schools so that children and young people and actually, frankly, 13 is a child, are inoculated and supported and taught how to manage that. And we need to be sort of working with parents too. Do you know, one of the things I found out in my survey was that although phones are restricted in most schools, which is great, kids are still spending over half of them spending 2 hours a day on internet-connected phones, and a quarter of them spending 4 hours a day, and that's age 8-year-old up. What I know from my surveys as well, kids get their phone at 11, 10, 9. They're very honest with me. They're seeing hardcore, horrible porn from at that age. They're seeing violence, gore, beheadings, coercive sexual material, suicide ideation material, and parents just don't know.
No.
And we need to help parents understand how to manage this whole thing.
Presumably, a lot of that is safeguards within the phone as well. It's kind of, we did a piece on it yesterday with Alice Beer. It's kind of parents being across the safety features of their phone, and that won't eradicate it, but it will certainly help it. Roxy, let's go back to you. Just before we get to where you are now, which seems like the incredible work you're doing, how did you get yourself out of this? What happened to turn your mental health around? What happened to turn the circumstance and situation around?
I mean, it really ruined me at the time. I ended up being hospitalised and spending most of my year 10 at school on suicide watch.
Oh, my God.
And the saddest part for me is that I then wasted, I really did lose the rest of my teenage years just because of the shame. It kept me so isolated. I felt like I was the only person in the world who'd messed up and ruined my life, and I just felt disgusting. And that was the hardest bit, I think, looking back, is just so much time wasted feeling like that. When actually, from what you're saying, it's not unique. So many people feel, whether or not, it's not about the specifics of the situation, people see things that make them uncomfortable or sad, and then there's that shame around it that's just ridiculous. There shouldn't be that.
Yeah.
Well, that's why it's so good. So literally last Sunday, just gone, you've set up a website. It's called Behind Our Screens. So people can Google that, look for that, Behind Our Screens. Just talk us through what that is and what it does.
Yeah, so it's this platform where I'm trying to encourage young people to anonymously share their experiences growing up online so that we can amplify young people's voices. For two reasons, really. Firstly, because of that wasted time feeling ashamed, got to kind of encourage more open, more honest conversations around this stuff so that people aren't, like, the fact, I don't want that 13-year-old sat in their room feeling ashamed of whatever they've seen or experienced. I don't want that. So having more open and honest conversations. And secondly, because I realised how big the gap was between our generation and adults. And, like, to try and bridge that gap so that young people's real lived experiences is what's informing the education on this stuff, the regulation, and so that parents really understand what we're actually seeing, because it's evolving so quickly.
Yeah.
So we kind of need this, like, constant feedback loop
Yeah.
where
It's
people...
updated
Yeah,
constantly.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think-
Rachel, from your point of view, sorry, what support at the moment is out there for parents and children?
So, look, there are loads of websites, you know, Internet Watch, Ours, NSPCC. Particularly, I want to talk to any child who's experiencing, or young person who's experiencing what Roxy experienced, get on that NSPCC website. But most importantly, you know, parents need to be talking to their children, and actually getting them to open up and talk about what their experiences are. If that happens early enough, we can avoid what happened to Roxy happening at all. So I think there's two things. There's the support that we can get from websites, from charities. Every teacher, head teacher is safeguarding trained, the police are safeguarding trained. You know, there should be adults you can turn to. But I think the education point, the young people and the peer support point is really, really important. But for me, the fundamentally most important thing is it's parents and children. We've got to get those conversations happening, because that's, you know, when I did a big, I brought a couple of hundred 18 to 21-year-olds into the Department for Education where my office is, and I asked them, what do you wish, you're the first generation that's grown up with tech, what do you wish parents had known? And do you know what they said? They said, we wish that they'd not given us phones too young. We wish that they kept us off some of those apps too young and helped us go out to play. We want to be able to talk to them about the things we're seeing and the things we're happening without us getting into trouble or having our kit taken off us. Don't let us have our phones in bed at night. And that's the children. And I asked them an absolute killer question. I said, if it was your little sister, or when you have children, and this is 18 to 21-year-olds, are you going to give them, are you going to give them unfettered access to the internet and apps to go? And they were 100% no.
This is the thing. Technology's happened so quickly. Parents aren't always up to speed with it all. That phone or tablet has got access to the world. There's too much power in that one little phone, and I'm hoping, and I thank you both for coming on today, because if there's one parent now watching, it's the Easter holidays, all I'm thinking is just listen to what you've both said and go into those phones and have that conversation, and let's just get all those things sorted out. Let's look at what apps are on there, let's put some restrictions in, because we need to protect our children from what they can access.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Rachel. Thank you so much. Brilliant.
Thank you.
If you've been affected by anything we mentioned today, help's available via the free This Morning website. Thank you so much for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every single day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you in the morning. Thank you so much for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every single day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you in the morning.
Look, before we do all of that, we've got the latest social media craze, which has actually sadly lent to a load of growing numbers of young people jumping on this tanning trend.
Yeah, teenagers are proudly posting videos that showing off their tan lines and documenting their sunbed habits, which has led to a surge in 43% surge in 18 to 25-year-olds using sunbeds.
Yes, so after using tanning beds regularly since she was 16 years old, our next guest was just 19 when she was diagnosed with melanoma. Georgia Edwards is joining us now alongside Dr. Nigat to tell us more.
Hiya, Georgia.
Georgia, thank you for coming on talking about this today, because this is hopefully going to send a really positive message out to a lot of young people that maybe made your mistakes. So what got you into using tanning beds and sunbeds?
I think I was just
really young, loved having a tan without having the faff of doing it in your bedroom and it being all sticky. And me and my friends used to just go together to sunbed shops and have a quick 10-minute tan. You feel like you've gone to Spain and back. And yeah, I think it became addictive. The more I would see tan lines and I'd see how much more tanned I was getting each sunbed. So yeah, I think that's probably the main reason.
How old were you when you started? 16?
Yeah, 16.
So it's a kind of an impressionable age where you're with your friends and, you know...
Yeah.
You're olive-skinned, right? So you tan pretty easy anyway, do you?
Yes, I do, yeah. Yeah, so
was that exacerbated when you have a sunbed? If you're olive-skinned, would you see it quite, like...
Yeah,
more
definitely. Yeah, so I went on holiday with my friends when I was 16 and I was, like, a complete different colour to them because I'd been sunbedding loads so that I was tanned before I even got on holiday.
And this is the thing, so many girls use that logic, I'll get a pre-tan before the holiday tan, and then, you know, obviously it's not good for you at all, but when you're 16, you don't really think about the bad stuff that could happen. You probably weren't aware of any of the risks, were you, at the time?
No. I think I was just young and naive, and I think you think, oh, it's a lot of older people that it will happen to, or, oh, I'm too young for it to kind of hit me, until it did, I guess.
Do you get ID'd? Because if you're under 16, obviously it shouldn't be happening. So did you get ID'd at the time?
No. So you could go into a shop, pop a card into a coin machine and just top up however many minutes you'd like each sunbed. And I used to use different sunbed shops and I don't think I was ID'd in any of them.
Yeah.
Wow. And so you were using the sunbeds. At what point did you start either feeling different or noticing something different?
So probably about a year after using sunbeds, I noticed a mole on my upper thigh and it just looked a little bit red and bloody. But I had a dog at the time. I thought she might have just scratched me. And then it kind of did start to change a lot more. And then I happened to go to the doctors for something else and got them to check it over, and then they did put me on the 2-week kind of pathway where you're then seen to have a biopsy done quite quickly.
And then what happened? Did things happen quite quickly off the back of that?
Yeah, so they said it was about 4-week wait until I found out, and I think it was actually about 5 in the end. And I was actually at work when I found out. I worked in the hospital, so they came and got me, and I kind of found out then. And luckily my mum was also, she works in the same hospital, so she could come down. But yeah, they told me there and then. And I kind of knew when I got in there because there was a Macmillan cancer nurse sitting there, so I think I just kind of knew at the time.
Oh, bless you, I got sort of a bit goosebumpy there, because that's not the news you were expecting at all.
No.
So once you got told that, then how quickly was it like, right, we need to start treating this, or can we treat it?
Yeah, so they offered me 2 different hospitals I could go to, and then I went to one and they actually said, actually, we think you're best placed at the Royal Marsden instead.
That's
so
a
when
great
I
hospital,
was,
the Royal
yeah,
Marsden.
it's amazing.
Sure, my dad's brilliant.
Yeah, and it's quite close to me in Sutton as well, so that was really good actually. So I then had quite a few appointments with consultants and surgeons, and then I had quite a large surgery where they took out a lot more of my leg, and I've left with quite a big scar.
So they had to physically remove...
Yeah, so they've removed a lot more of the skin deeper. So the biopsy that they took, there was kind of, they know that there's melanoma all the way through that, so then they have to keep going until they've kind of got it all out.
Dr. Nick, let's bring you in. I mean, Georgia seems like almost a poster girl for this, because she knows that, you know, she now knows the risks. She's speaking brilliantly about it. But the telling sellers, so a lot of them are touting kind of, I suppose, the vitamin D, the wellness side of it, yeah? So is there ever a safe
No,
sunbed?
categorically I can say there is never a safe amount of sunbed use at all. So the Cancer Research UK have done lots of research, and international bodies have done lots of research on sunbeds, and they have categorised that because it's artificial UV light, it damages the DNA in the cells. Wherever you get damage, you're going to get inflammation.
Because it's artificial.
It's artificial. Sun also can cause that as well, and we'll come on to that as well. But this is intense amount that you're using for a purpose which actually you're using no other protection for, because when you use sunbeds, you're not supposed to put any sun cream on, no other. And I've actually heard stories of people putting on oil to get into sunbed. Giorgio agrees with me. And that level of UV light damages the DNA, causes inflammation. When you get that, you get a breakdown in the cells and mistakes, and that turns into cancer. So using a sunbed is that carcinogenic equivalent to, say, tobacco or asbestos, which are also, well, we already know, as carcinogenics as well.
How are they legal?
I know. And this is, I think, the battle that we've got, because there is this, I would say, medical myth of providing it wellness, vitamin D, almost slimming beds or tanning beds as well, makes you look skinnier, and then fat busts as well, and gets rid of, works as a fat metabolizer. None of those have been founded at all. Unfortunately, you're always going to get individuals that have anecdotal, it won't work for me, and this is how I feel, and then that spreads like wildfire. And unfortunately, there is a lot of misinformation when it comes to things like using sun cream, which is rife as well, which we need to tackle.
Well, let's go through it. Symptoms of melanoma, what should we be looking out for? And is there anything else on our skin we need to be keeping an eye out?
Well, some of them Giorgio already highlighted. So in the NHS, I always say use A, B, C, D, E criteria. So we're looking for asymmetry. Does it have a raggedy border? Then B, border, what is it like? Is it sort of, raggedy on the edges? Does it look like someone's almost tattooed you and like spreading artificially? Yeah, like that on the skin. Then C, colour. Are there any two different colours, two-tone colours that you're looking for? And this is really important because if you're looking at black and brown skin, it might not appear like that. It might actually not appear red. It might appear tan or even just darker brown, so have that acuity as well. Then D, diameter. Put a ruler next to it. Is it greater than, say, 6 millimetres? Then that needs to be checked out. And E, evolving. So does it rapidly change within a couple of days? And this is where your phones, your handy iPhones, are going to come into great use. So photograph, capture every mole, every skin lesion, because you might not notice the evolution. And you don't need to have all of them at the same time. You could just have evolution, so the evolving bit of the mole, and that would be an indicator to come in and get it checked out.
Wow, I mean, I think that the message is clear then that some beds, no matter where you're using them, what type you're using, they're not safe, they're not recommended at all.
And keep an eye on your skin, keep an eye on your loved one. The NHS has got a great app called Skin Vision that you can download for free and photograph your mole, and it uses AI tech to tell you, OK, this needs to go to a healthcare professional. So I know access can be a little bit tricky, but the AI technology is only going to be as good as if we get a lot of people putting their skin on. So I need, like, people from ethnic minorities, black and Asian skin, olive skin, putting that in, because then we can teach that to pick it up early. And the data shows that the earlier you pick it up, the better the prognosis.
And people protecting our skin, obviously 30, what,
SPF, factor 50 sun cream as well, and look out for sunspots. So something called actinic keratosis, have an eye out for those. There's a small chance of actinic keratosis turning into, like, 10% chance of a squamous cell carcinoma. So getting those easily removed. In the NHS, there's a cream that we can put on that zaps it away, or equally we can send you to a dermatologist. But sunscreen, always use sunscreen every single time.
And Georgia, how are you now?
I'm good.
Yeah?
8 years, cancer-free. So I've got 2 more years of checkups. Up to 10 years. And then as long as all is OK in the next 2 years, then no more checkups needed.
Good to hear. Thanks for coming on.
So much for sharing that. Very brave of you.
Thank you.
Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every day, so go ahead, hit that subscribe button. You don't want to miss out, and we'll see you in the morning.
Now, our next guest made headlines last week after receiving a suspended sentence for trafficking drugs into the UK.
So Levi Wally is a former nurse turned influencer who regularly posted about the jet-set lifestyle on social media. So when she was offered an all-expenses-paid trip to New York with a best friend in exchange for carrying a suitcase full of watches, she couldn't resist.
But after travelling back to the UK, officers at Birmingham Airport uncovered £160,000 worth of cannabis in their luggage.
So despite evading prison time, she says her life has been ruined and she faces losing her nursing career for good. So could they really not have known what they were signing up for? She joins us now. Levi, thank you for coming on and chatting about the story. I know it's taken a lot for you to come here, so we appreciate that. So I think most people that are watching or know about the story would say they believe you sort of knew what you were getting yourself into from the start. So can you tell us how you got into this?
So it was my friend. She was approached online. She'd met a girl in Marbella. She messaged my friend. She said, would you like to go to New York and carry some suitcases back. It's just watches, all the expenses have paid, and you will get some money in return as well. And then she discussed it with me and my friend, and then we decided together to came to that conclusion that we would do it. We weren't really thinking about the consequences as such at the time. It seemed a brilliant idea. We were already travelling a lot, me and my friend, that year. I decided to do a year of that. I wanted to travel as much as I could.
Yeah.
I'd done my nursing career since I was 18. So I just wanted to travel as much as I could that year. So this seemed like a great opportunity. So we then decided to do it.
Was there part of you that just buried what the consequences and what might be in that suitcase? Because even if it's watches, why are you bringing back like 2 suitcases full of watches?
Absolutely. I think I went with the idea that I wanted to go to New York, and it's this glamorous type of lifestyle.
Sure.
And I just thought, why not? I think I forgot what I was actually
Well, also,
doing.
were you thinking,
over there.
I mean, even if it's watches and it's illegal, what harm can it do if I'm taking watches back to
Yeah, I weren't really thinking about the consequences as such. I was thinking about going to New York and having the holiday. It wasn't until the day on return you had to think about what you was actually doing. So when we actually went to New York, we just enjoyed the holiday, and then on the return, you was then given the case. So then it was, right, what are we actually doing here?
Yeah, because I suppose that's the reality. Up until then, it's probably been DMs and WhatsApps or whatever.
Yeah.
That doesn't feel as real.
No.
Then you're at an airport and 2 big bags are being handed over to you.
Yes, absolutely.
And you're the ones taking that home half thinking now, what have we got ourselves into?
Yeah, I think at that point we was like, this is definitely not watches.
But why didn't you back out at that point, do you think?
I think we felt we was too far deep. The people that we was doing it for, they knew a lot about us.
Were you scared?
Yeah, I was scared. I was definitely scared. I just felt like I was just too far deep. There was at the point of no return, really. Yeah.
So then you had to sort of see it out, which was when you landed.
Yeah.
You just knew something wasn't right. As that carousel came through and your bags, were they the last to come through or something?
They came out, but on the carousel, they came out totally different compared to the rest. Everyone else's bag was like laid flat. Our cases came out upright. So I think at that point we knew... at that point, I still thought, can we walk away from here? But we still decided to go ahead and get the suitcases off and walk through customs at that point.
So take us back to New York. How many days were you in New York for?
3 days.
OK, so in New York, all expenses paid, having a great time.
Yeah.
Did you ever have, like, I don't know, dinner with your friend and just sit down and go, are we worried about this? Are we sure we're doing the right thing? Or were you just blinkered by what we're seeing now, which is you having a lovely time and looking nice in pictures?
I think I was... It wasn't until literally the last day. The last day we then thought, right, what
you buried your head in the sand?
Yeah, I was just enjoying the holiday. I wasn't really thinking much.
And did you not think, like, when your mate... what's your friend's
Sophie.
When Sophie said to you, we've got this opportunity to go to New York, and it's someone I met on Instagram, I know you've done a bit of influencing and so forth, but are you not thinking, how can we trust someone we've just met on Instagram? Like, it just seems crazy.
Yeah, Sophie knew the girl, and the girl had already done the same trip, and there was various of other girls that she showed that had done the same trip, and when we'd done...
Did they know what they were getting themselves into, do you think?
I don't think so, no. And I think even going forward, a lot of people that would probably be poached to do the exactly same thing, they'll be given a completely different story.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't think they knew what they was getting themselves into at all.
And Leva, I suppose, when you've heard that other people have done it, again, a bit like you're saying with the DMs and everything, you're not thinking of the reality, you're just seeing the result.
Yeah, absolutely. For me at the time, I just wanted to get away as much as I possibly could, and it just seemed an opportunity that I didn't want to miss out on, really.
But then the reality was, it must have been a hard-hitting moment when you realise you're actually in trouble with the law.
Absolutely,
this is a lot bigger than you maybe initially thought.
Yeah.
And you've got to tell your family what's happened.
Yeah, absolutely. And I remember when we were at the airport and when we did get caught, I felt my whole world had crashed down. I knew at that point I'd absolutely really messed up.
So you saw your bags aside from the carousel. Are you then
Yeah.
taken aside by customs?
Yes, we were. Yeah, and then we was asked where we'd been, where we'd travelled to. So we'd said New York, and they said, "Why have you been to New York?" So we said a shopping trip, and then that's when they asked if we packed our suitcases.
What do you say to that?
I can't remember if we said yes or no, but then they did ask us for the combination at the time, and none of us knew the combination because we wasn't actually able to even get in the suitcases. I think that's at the point at New York when we knew what we were doing. This is illegal, what we're doing. This isn't right. But we didn't know the combination, so they then forced the bags open, and that's at that point.
And are you looking then at £160,000 worth? So that's the view that you saw when you opened the...
Yeah, it were, yeah.
That's just... Your bottom falls out of your world then, right?
Yeah, it did. Yeah, my heart, it just sank. It absolutely sank, yeah.
So when you went to get sentenced, were you thinking this is sort of it now?
So, we wasn't even charged with the offence straight away. We was released on bail. We wasn't charged until January this year. So we've had 13 months without an actual even charge, which was quite difficult because we've had to literally rebuild our whole life. I went into work voluntarily, and said I've been arrested, even though I hadn't actually been charged with the offence. I voluntarily went in and said that I've been arrested. So straight away, I worked in the private sector. It wasn't actually the NHS, and I was dismissed straight away. So I had to sort of rebuild my whole life because they then informed the nursing council. So since then, I've had to, a job that I've always done, I've had to rebuild my whole life.
Are you nursing now?
No, straight away, because I was honest and went straight in. They dismissed me straight away, and then I had to do courses myself and try and rebuild my life. I did like a facial course, aesthetics course, and I've had to just build my life from then. Something I've always done.
The tragedy is you've got, you've got a qualification there that'd be so valuable to society.
Yeah.
It's your decision whether you want to use it or not.
Yeah.
But it just seems so tragic that that's wasted now.
It's upsetting, yeah, it is. It's upsetting because I loved being a nurse and I loved looking after people. And unfortunately, for the rest of my life, I'm going to have to face this consequence of, you know, it's resulted in for the rest of my life affecting me now. Because people have had some comments to say.
Well, listen, the Pitchfork Brigade are always going to be the Pitchfork Brigade. But do you not feel... Like, how do you feel?
I feel destroyed by it. I don't want to play the victim, though, because, you know, I did have the opportunity probably to pull out, and I still did choose to go ahead and do it. So I'm going to have to pay the rest of my life for that. And, yeah, I'm destroyed by it. I am really destroyed.
Are you surprised you didn't go to prison?
Yes, I am surprised. I did go with my bag packed ready. I had my numbers in the book. I had everything ready.
God, the relief of that.
Yeah. I did expect prison, but because of certain mitigating factors, which going forward to make awareness for people, because some people may think that, like, oh, they've got away with this, maybe we'd get away with it. I just want to make it aware that not everyone might get a suspended sentence.
Well, this is it. And actually, if you'd been stopped in America, 2013, the average sentence for marijuana trafficking was 37 months. 90.6% were arrested in prison. Maximum prison term could have been 5 years, more than 5 years and less than 10 years.
And it feels, what I would say, very frustrating that in some ways it was all just for social media. It was for the pictures. Like Dermot said, you had an incredible career path to be a nurse, to be a midwife. And so... Was it almost this strange societal pressure that, you know, like you say, not many people are going to feel sorry for you in this situation.
No, which is fine.
Because of, you know, some of it feels a bit like it was obvious what was going to happen. However, you did do it, and you're not the first person to make a mistake in life. But what was that urge to be showing off on social media? Where did that come from?
I think it's the society that we live in today. It's the society that we live in today. It's all an image. And reflecting back on my life now, I see it totally different. At the time, even though this image looked glamorous, I would definitely say my life now, I want to be more quiet. I want to take a different route in things.
You're off social media now.
No, I'm still on it.
Do you not think you should be off it? Just, I mean, it's your decision, but just...
Yeah, I think...
Give it a rest and get on with your life.
Yeah,
you know?
well, to be honest, with all the bad press that we've had, I've not even responded to the press. It was my birthday the day after, so I was just reposting posts that friends maybe had put on, but I haven't responded to anything anyone said. I've kept very quiet with this. So it was just today where I wanted to speak my side of the story about it, but I just want to make awareness to people.
I was going to say, what do you want to get out of this?
So out of this, I want to make people aware that, you know, it's hard to, we want to make people aware that at certain times people may appear that they have this glamorous lifestyle, but you can have some vulnerability as well. And I think at the time, even people might disagree because we look like we were smiling and happy. Normal people wouldn't agree to go and take in a suitcase. Like if I was to ask certain friends, oh, would you bring a suitcase back? They'd say absolutely not.
Sure.
So that shows that there was some unstability in ourselves. So I want to make people aware that if you're asked or given these type of opportunities to change your life that we was given, really think about the consequences going forward.
Well, listen, we wish you the very best luck for the future.
Thank you.
And we hope you can rebuild your life and you and your family are happy, all right?
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every single day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button and we'll see you in the morning. UK is currently experiencing a shortage of ADHD medication affecting both adults and children who rely on it to help them manage their symptoms on a daily basis.
Yeah, but with demand expected to exceed supply of some drugs into the summer, could our next guest experience perhaps take some of that pressure off?
Yeah, so when 49-year-old Joanne Burland was diagnosed with ADHD last year, she felt an overwhelming sense of relief.
Yes, but rather than starting medication to manage her condition, Joanne says that actually her symptoms were already being addressed by a different drug altogether, her weight loss jab. This is fascinating. She joins us now alongside GP Dr. Hussain. I mean, it's hard to know where to start with all this, isn't it? I've never heard of anything like it. Well, first of all, let's ask you how it all came about, because when did you get diagnosed with ADHD?
So I was diagnosed last year. I had to wait 3.5 years for my diagnosis. I realised I've been training to be a counsellor.
Yeah.
And in that first year, you have a lot of self-reflection and a lot of just working on yourself. And it kind of dawned on me then.
Had you known for a while? Had you suspected for a while?
Not so much. I've just always been a bit quirky. I've always...
But who isn't, right? So, yeah.
Exactly. But I've always felt like the third wheel in a friendship. I've always felt different to other people and not felt like I've fitted in, really, like my whole life.
Sure. So when you were on the weight loss jab, do you think that's reduced the symptoms of ADHD?
It's certainly helped me. I am notoriously unorganised, trying my best to be organised. Constantly got this narrative in my head because I'm not as organised as everyone else seems.
Yeah.
So it's just like this constant berating.
I imagine this is ringing a lot of bells in homes around the country right now.
Absolutely. And I just realised once I'd started taking it that kind of quietened. The chatter that was going on in my head kind of subsided. And I just got more focused. I just got more, I gained more concentration. I was just able to do things.
So you started taking the weight loss jabs before you'd even had your diagnosis, right?
Yeah.
So you're taking the jabs, you're noticing a change in your weight, and then you're feeling different.
Yeah.
And then is that when you sort of did put the two together and thought, well, this seems to be having an effect here?
Not so much. So I was on Mounjaro for about 5 or 6 months.
So that's the weight loss jab, isn't it?
That's right, yeah. And I had to come off for financial reasons because the cost was going up and up. And it was then when I was off that I actually started to realise
that your symptoms were coming back of your ADHD.
Exactly.
And then you got diagnosed.
Exactly.
Wow.
Sure. Let's bring Dr. Hussain in. So there are people watching here, perhaps the ADHD themselves, asking right now, is this possible? So from a medical point of view, where are we with it?
So, like as a headline at the top, we don't want people switching over to these injections because as of yet, we haven't got definitive, concrete evidence to support this. If we are going to ever license a medication for an indication, it has to be really robust. We need lots of data, fully understanding how it's utilised, etc. However, if we look at anecdotal evidence from quite a few different patients across different countries, we are seeing a trend where they're noticing improvements in symptoms around attention, impulsivity, etc. And already, GLP-1s, which is the class of medication that these weight loss injections sit under, are being investigated in, for example, ADHD, as well as gambling, alcohol addiction. Because if we look at it theoretically, GLP-1 is a hormone that our body naturally produces, and it works at different sites, including, yes, cravings for food, but in other mechanisms in our dopamine and our reward systems, we have these receptors at other areas of our brain. So it's not surprising to see other effects. Only time and really robust evidence will be able to support whether we can utilise it in other spheres. But I would not be surprised if we do not see, as the years go on, further indications outside of type 2 diabetes and weight loss as we better understand this medication.
Because the focus it gives you, because you're not worried as much about those things.
Yeah, like there's different proposed mechanisms by why we see these improvements. It could be that it's a direct action of the hormone on receptors in areas of the brain. It could be that as we see weight reduce, we know that excess weight causes impairment on memory, on attention. The inflammation that it leads to the body is there. It could also be that the improved motivation and self-esteem and mental health that you get from having progress with your weight journey, that could also play. So there's lots of complex interplays that are here, and it's unknown which one is more important than the other. And that's where randomised control trials can try to pick out what is it about these medications or the weight loss journey that's having this effect. Because we do see, just in weight loss from other realms, let's say lifestyle interventions, they also see improvements in ADHD symptoms as well. So there's lots of elements to explore here, but very interesting science.
Yeah, that is interesting. I'm seeing what you're saying. It could just be the healthy lifestyle change, but it could also be something a bit deeper than that. I know friends that have used the weight loss jabs, and they've said it quietens the noise around food and thinking about food all day.
Absolutely.
For you, Joanne, was that how you felt?
Absolutely. And I received an email from a lady, and because I shared my story.
Yes.
And she's just been diagnosed. She's 60 years old, and she's also on weight loss jabs. And she said for the first time in her life, she's just got clarity. She's just got that space that she's able to get on with things. And for me, personally, that's exactly what it enabled me to do.
Because we asked ADHD about your experience. And they said it's a relatively new topic that needs research, like you just touched on, Doctor. But it's important, as people with ADHD are 70% more likely to be obese. So if you extrapolate there, the link to improved ADHD symptoms might be indirect, a consequence of lower weight rather than weight loss. So, Doctor, when you say we need to know more and trials, how long do those... I mean, it's like how long's a piece of string, right? But how long do trials normally take before the medical scientific community go, OK, we do see that as a kind of proven fact?
Yeah. So generally, trials have 3 phases. The first phase is to prove, is the medication safe? Prove that. The second phase, you look at, is it effective at the indication that you're exploring? So this is where you do randomised control, you compare it against placebo in patient group, for example, ADHD, and you see, is there a clinical effect there? Then the final phase is trying to understand the impact and other side effects that when you're giving it to more people, you will start to identify. Because only when it's a few hundred, you're not going to pick up some of the rarer side effects. Once you've done all those 3 phases, how long does that take? Anywhere from at least 3 to 4 years to sometimes 10, 15. It all depends on what evidence comes about and how quickly that comes. Right.
Yeah, I suppose that's one thing to stress, isn't it, today? And it's so interesting, Joanne, hearing what you're saying. And I'm sure it's going to start a lot of new research. But for people watching right now with ADHD, just to stress that this is not something we're suggesting you try.
Absolutely not. No, there's lots of good evidence for the medications that we've got at the moment, but also a lot of lifestyle interventions that you can do to support that. Go on the ADHD UK website. There's lots of information there to search. But yes, this is an interesting area, and they've already started research in this area, but it'll take time to get the results.
So thank you both.
And thanks, Joanne. That's so brave of you to speak out about it.
Really great. Thank you so much for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every single day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you in the morning.